So today, remember that bridge that I was on? You know how sometimes people use different situations as a scenario as to what's going on in their life. Well, that bridge is now closed. So, what does that mean for me? Basically, God has closed um, that bridge or that access, closed access to that part of my life. What was over that bridge? You know, you think about all of this stuff that was over the bridge. It was over the bridge, but it was liquor. It was certain people such as, people that's kind of everywhere, wishy-washy, don't know where they want to be. They're at a certain stage in their life where I feel like I'm on more of a higher level, a more of a mature level. I might not be on a more mature level because it's just like people are in a certain situation, like spiritually, maybe I'm on a higher level, but financially, they have the means to that. So maybe God is saying, you don't have access to this part of this side of the road anymore because you have to get to a certain point where you can support this type of habit. I do not approve of this habit until you can, get where you need to be, or just cutting down that bridge, period. This is a message for you and me. So it's just like God will close certain doors so that you can grow and so that you can become who God wants you to be. Um, Maybe that side of the road, it wasn't only liquor. Like I said, it was other people, and it was just a lot going on to where nothing had a set foundation. It was just a lot of stores that was closed, a lot of getting getting it back, getting it together, and maybe sometimes, like I said, God closed those doors because whatever God is preparing you for, you aren't ready for. So it was more than liquor. It was bars. It was, fun places as well that I seen. And I'm just like, one time I was riding down the street, I'm like, wow, I never seen this before. And when I seen it, boom, God closed the door on me. I'm like, dang. But I'm not really like dang, but I am kind of like dang because it's just like, I know it's not my time yet to have that kind of fun, or maybe it won't ever be that time for me to have fun. Everybody is on different paths in their life, and certain people have access to those doors, but sometimes God has to close the door on you specifically because God knows that you are spontaneous. God knows that you will go the extra mile when it can be too much for you, but you feel like you can take on the world, or you feel like, if I do this, ain't nothing gonna happen. I can do it regardless. I've been through it. There was this one time where I was talking to somebody and it was like, well, I've been through it before. I can do it. I know that, I know that, I had experience, and I feel like with my experience, then, I'm able to. I did it before, I can do it again. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's not meant for you to do it again. Sometimes it's just meant for you to keep going forward and have that lesson in your mind, have that, just like another conversation, he was talking about how, um, well, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of doing this, I'm tired of that, I'm tired of Ohio, period. I'm tired of people in Ohio. I'm tired of doing all the stuff that I've done it. I'm not looking at girls no more, females no more like that no more. Meaning he's attracted to females, but he's not looking at them in that way no more. And he's not looking to do certain things. He's just fed up and he's tired and he wants a whole different experience. So he's talking about he's moving out of the country, talking to my family, but it's just being in that situation. Get out here and work. I done did serious time, all that shit. Like I said, not you. I'm just a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck who they is. I don't know your next move. Fuck you. Even if it's your parents. What? Even if it's your parents. Hell, fuck yeah, nigga. They the ones who made me. Fuck yeah. I don't know how to do that shit. Motherfucker do me wrong, I'm cool. Cause now I know you playing with me. I'm cool. That's why I'm single. If a bitch cheat on me, I'm cool. I'd rather just let you go because I ain't gonna be able to live with you. I'm not gonna be able to look at you. That's why I'd rather just ain't no telling what I do. So on the honest side, I'd rather just let them go. I'm cool. But I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, relaxing.
About to finish eating my other meal, looking at some reels, and just chilling. Go home, lay down, get ready for work.
So how do I get offensive though?
I don't know. It's just like you just not. And I don't know. Man. I'm tired of just really speaking on people. I don't like nobody judging me or nothing, man. I'm tired of Ohio. I'm tired of females. I'm good. I'm just spoiling myself, get my shit, taking care of my motherfucking shit like I've been doing. Man. It's like I don't give a fuck about the oh you cute or the conversation. None of that shit no more. I just don't. I really just
But
switch up my
that's the
whole.
thing. I be feeling the same way, but it's just like when I'm in a good mood, I'm the one that make myself feel better, and like I really don't have that support to for anybody to make me feel better. So it's just like,
I feel. I definitely feel.
and it's kind of hard to get out of that funk, really.
All right, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and finish charging this phone so I can go back to this damn car, smoke this blunt, and go home.
I hope you feel better.
All right, man.
All right. And I was like, I mean, that's good. And that's what I'm saying. Like God, it comes to a point where God, He's awakening, spiritually, and He's knowing that He's had enough, and He just wants something more out of life. And a lot of this stuff in life just can't satisfy the hunger inside of you, you know. And that hunger, you can tell He's really, really hungry. So it's just like at that point where anything could happen in life where you become really, really hungry, and that bridge is open for you to go, and God is like, nope, this bridge is closed. Um, so you got to find another route. And in the midst of you finding another route, maybe this will give you time to think about everything else besides what's over here because you're not ready over here. So I feel like God kind of answered my prayers because I was on a bridge and I was sitting there talking about contemplating my life. I was just sitting there like, what was I saying? I was like, that certain relationship with a liquor bottle or something, and I'm just using, this experience as a lesson or some type of teaching lesson. So for me, more so because I said I was on a bridge of, I was at that same point in my life with that alcohol bottle, and God, God knows. And the fact that I opened up about it, God closed that bridge. And what does that say to me? What can I get out of that situation? That I need to close that door myself. I need to close that door myself. I need to close that chapter in my life and not look back at it, and just keep pushing forward, and not even think about what's ahead, but just keep walking, and whatever finds me in the midst of me going forward or down my path will find me, because what's meant for you is what's meant for you. And when that time comes for you to bask in that moment, then that moment will come for you. And when that moment comes, you have the freedom of agency, and agency is making your own decision, making your own choice. Red pill, blue pill, boom. And that time happens in life all the time, and you don't know when it comes. And that's when it's just like you're in a situation with somebody and you're like, they offer you something, you like, hold up, should I not, should I not? But don't worry about it, because God will be there right by your side when it's time to make that choice. And just like God closed that bridge, God will close the door on certain people. You just have to be patient. You don't have to make that choice right up front. But if that it's a knocking, it's knocking at your door, you have to know discernment, and you have to know that whatever choice you make, God will be there with you to guide you, as long as you're a strong believer and you have faith in the process. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Like I said, it's a message for me. It's a message for y'all. That day, whatever y'all was going through with that liquor bottle, any bottle that y'all had at that time that I made that video last week, anytime that reflect back on that liquor bottle. But the last time you had last week, that liquor bottle that you had that you couldn't put down, that reflected a relationship that you was holding on to. God is closing that bridge, and God is saying it's time to let go of whatever that was. It's time to let go. I'm closing this bridge. And this is the message. This is the word. You know, that bridge is closed. It's time for you to move on. So, like I said, wherever you was at in life and whatever liquor bottle you had then, that liquor bottle is, that beer, whatever y'all have, it's time to close that bridge. And God has closed that bridge for y'all, and it's time to move on. And there was this time where, and yesterday we seen the bridge was closed. And this is when, you know, we become hard-headed as humans, and we're like, no, you know, you talking about, you know, you just don't understand. And that's how I was feeling. Like, that's how we was feeling. Like, I approached the bridge, and I'm like, is it closed? And he was like, I think so, but it still looks walkable, like you can walk on it. And he was like, I'm just trying to figure out what to do. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna cross this bridge anyway. Even though it's a sign right now, I'm gonna cross this bridge anyway. And we walked across this bridge, and he was like, I was like, man, they just don't understand the struggle. Like, if we can't cross this bridge, and we're gonna have to go to the other, we're gonna have to take a longer route.
I'm talking to you.
We're gonna have to take a longer route. And then he was like, see, your mom understand. Like, he was talking to my son. And so we crossed the bridge, and at the end of the bridge, it was a sign knocked down. And that's how hard-headed we are. That's how stubborn we are as humans. You know, we can't take no for no, because we got all of these reasons why in our mind, you know, why we move, why we still have to cross that bridge even when the sign is up saying you can't, you know. So we stubborn. So we crossed the bridge, and that was a risk, because anything could have happened. You know, we seen something, but we just like, they must be working under the bridge and just don't want us crossing the bridge, because sometimes construction workers don't make sense like that. So we crossed the bridge, and like I said, in the midst, like when God is telling you caution, you know, it could be our last time crossing that bridge. That could have been what it was, you know. This is the last time. Do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, this is about to be closed. This road, you won't have no access to the side anymore. So do what you got to do now. Get it out your system. And, you know, let's keep it pushing.
Usher.
So.
Usher.
What?
Is that your name?
Yeah. So, cross the bridge, and
Usher.
so that's when I say, like today, like I said, in the midst of God telling us that anything can happen, and we don't take that seriously. So, you know, the next day, that's when I was like, oh shoot, the bridge is closed. So, that's when God was like, I told you, this bridge gonna be closed, and you won't be able to come over here no more. So, it's time to figure it out. And that's when I had to find a new route, and I had to figure it out. And I was huffing and I was puffing the whole time, because I'm just like, man, I gotta go this way. I gotta do all this. I could have been there by now, but I got it done, and I got it done in a reasonable amount of time. I just had to do what I had to do. And I just had to do what I had to do. I had to figure it out, and I had to, and that's just what I had to do, you know. So yeah, you never know, because any change of direction could be a change of mindset. It could help you mentally. It can help you mentally, you know, and that's how life works. You don't go down a certain road. You're so used to going down this road, and in the midst of that road, anything can just be, you know, interfering with your path. But that's where God comes in. God is the only one that can go and close that road, because God knows that my child is hard-headed, and I've been telling my child to go this way the whole time. But when you get comfortable, you continue to go on, and that's when God has to step in and make you uncomfortable. Only God can do that. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to speak on. And yeah, I will see y'all next time. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go on about my day, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care. Bye.